Greetings, welcome to another edition of Comic Book Geezers. I'm your host Pete, and my partner in crime over here.
I'm Wild Bill, the Unknown Comic. How are you? Welcome back for another edition of Comic Book Geezers. This is our Captain America episode.
If you couldn't tell, right?
We have done Captain America books in the past, but that was a tribute to Jack Kirby.
So we're going to do a deep dive today. But we're only going to go. We're going to go from issue 100, which was technically issue number 1,
to 150,
to 150, or to 149 actually today.
Something like
so
that,
we'll do that, and we'll do a part 2 at a later date. But we want to get you the glory of, especially the early Kirby run, which was fantastic. So some of you probably most of you recall that Captain America is a character that goes way back to World War II. But in Marvel, you first started to really see him in the Tales of Suspense comic.
With him and Iron Man.
They shared that for a while, and that actually ended at issue
That's like
number,
two separate stories in one book. Two
separate stories, kind of like Tales to Astonish with Hulk and Submariner and what have you. But that one ended at issue number 99. At that point in time, they decided to give Captain America his own book and Iron Man his own book.
And number him at 100.
Yeah, Iron Man got number 1, but Cap started at 100, which is okay.
And they did the same thing with the Hulk and Submariner, right? Submariner got number 1, and Hulk went to 102.
They did absolutely the same thing. And they also did that with Doctor Strange and Nick Fury. Doctor Strange started off at like 170 or whatever, and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., got issue 1. So kind of weird how they did that, but hey, whatever. This is issue number 100, premiere issue. Awesome Jack Kirby cover. This was a nice score of mine about a year ago. Very happy to have it. Just a classic Kirby cover. And one of the things that we'll probably talk about it numerous times during this show is that a lot of the Captain America that had the whole kind of like triumphant rah type of thing. You know, it was the 60s. Patriotic, yeah. So issue number 101.
Oh, this is cool.
So of course, Cap's number 1 villain of all time is the Red Skull. The Red Skull will create this army of giant robots called the Sleepers. Another great issue.
A yellow background cover.
Yeah.
Which is dominant.
Works big time.
In a lot of Captain America
white
issues, as you're going to see.
Yeah, Bill's holding a bunch of them that are all yellow. You're going to see that a lot. 102, The Sleeper Strikes. This is just classic Kirby action cover. Okay, there's the Sleeper right down there, manhandling Captain America.
There's your white background.
That's right.
Oh, this is cool.
This is cool. So this is number 103. So again, you'll see some nice use of yellows down below. There he is.
In the letters itself of Captain America.
Again, a lot of the evil adversaries of Captain America, as well as Nick Fury, were all like of German descent. Because remember, we were just not that far from World War II, so they kind of carried a lot of those type of characters. So
evil Nazi regime,
evil Nazis, or Japanese, the whole axis of evil thing. Batroc the Leaper. Okay, very popular character. He showed up in the movies too.
Major yellow going on here.
That's right. Gotta love it. Got the swordsman down there too.
It helps the blue of his uniform stand out.
Totally,
it really does.
Totally.
You couldn't have a blue background there.
No, you could not. No.
I can't see you.
Number 106. That classic Kirby. Right? And
this is a great
cover. A good one. Yeah, 107.
15-cent book, or is that 12? That's 12. I'm
12.
reading backwards.
That's 12, yeah, number 107. So that's got to be, what, 60, 68 or so?
Probably 67, 66, I'm going to say.
Yeah, you might be right. Number 108, The Trapster from the Frightful Four, okay?
Check that out.
Paste Pot Pete. Good issue. Now, I'm going to tell a little story here.
Oh, this is great. I have this put in the reprint format, the 35-cent version.
So what I'm going to show you here in a second is probably one of my favorite covers of all time. This is when Jim Steranko was introduced to the Captain America comic as artist, and he did
This is one of the greatest, probably one of the greatest Captain America covers of all time.
So we like to tell stories. So a little story. When I was a kid, probably about maybe 3 or 4 years old, right? I had just started to get, I know it's kind of young, but I just started to get introduced to comics.
You might as well just show this.
I'll show it while I'm telling the story. So my grandparents, on my mother's side, lived down the Lower East Side of New York, down on Grant Street, basically in the area where Chinatown meets Little Italy meets the Jewish neighborhoods, right? So they had a co-op there. On the same floor that my grandparents lived, across the hall from my grandparents, lived a elderly Jewish lady. Her name was Mrs. Weber. Mrs. Weber had a son who was just, I believe he was either a teenager or early 20s. And he had previously collected comics and then kind of grew out of it, but he gave her all of his comics. So she found that she used to interact with us all the time. She was good friends with my grandmother. And then one day she noticed that I came up from the newspaper stand downstairs with a comic. And she goes, "Oh, you like comic books?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like comic books." So she would
But he wasn't a comic book geezer at the time.
I wasn't a geezer. I was a comic book kitty, real young. Like I said, maybe 3 years old, maybe 4. And so one day, her and my grandmother and I went into her part. She goes, "Oh, come in here. I have something for you."
She gave you this?
And she gave me this.
No way.
Not this same issue, because I like an idiot.
You ruined it.
Years later, I wound up trading it away. So I had to rebuy this like a couple years ago. But I remember like being that one of the greatest days of my life, because
I got this. Your eyes must have lit up like a Christmas tree.
I'm telling you, because it's like, look at this cover. It's awesome.
It's great how Bucky's running.
Bucky's running, but what really is great about it is how the magnitude of the Hulk and the menace of the Hulk is like, because he looks enormous there.
Yeah.
Right?
And he looks like he's breaking this wall down to get Bucky.
Yep.
Who probably stepped on his foot or something. I don't know, but the Hulk is pretty pissed off.
Yep, exactly. So, and it's just a great issue, and it's a great Steranko cover. And
I love how his head is in the shadow, the Hulk's head. It makes the menacing look stand out.
Totally.
And the yellow in the background works.
Perfect. It's just perfect.
I mentioned I have the reprint of this, and I didn't even think to bring it. And it was called Marvel Super Action, I believe, was the Captain America reprints.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And it's the exact same cover, but it's a 35-cent book. But this is a beautiful book. A must-have for any Captain America fan.
Awesome.
Or Hulk fan.
Or Hulk fan, yeah. Or a Steranko fan, right?
There's no Bucky fans, are there? I didn't think so. There might be.
Probably one or two.
Right?
Really? Yeah. But to finish off my little story, so Mrs. Weber, over the course of the next few years, every time I would go visit my grandparents, I made sure to go and knock to see if she had any comic books for me. She would always throw me a bone.
Wow.
She gave me some old Spider-Man, one of which I still have.
Well, God
she gave me
bless
some Nick
Weber.
Fury's. She gave me a bunch of Westerns, like you remember the old Two-Gun
like
Kid
and
Rawhide Kid. Yeah.
Wow.
Bunch
Kid
of those.
Colt and all that.
Yep. So I will always remember Mrs. Weber as someone who really helped jumpstart my love for Marvel Comics back in the right about 1970, 69, 70, 71, 72. Yeah, really kind of cool, right?
And you were helping clean out her apartment because she didn't want those books.
She didn't want them. She didn't know what she had. Yeah, it's like crazy. All right, more fantastic Steranko here. Number 111. I don't have 110, which is the origin story.
Lack of a background color, but it works.
It totally works. Would this have worked with yellow? I don't know.
Maybe. I think it would have.
Yeah.
I think it would have.
Yeah, be interesting, right? 112, the album issue. See, we got Kirby back with the cover on this one. Yep, so we got Namor here, Red Skull, Swordsman, kind of cool, right? And then we
Very cool.
Back to Steranko for this one. This is a really good one. It's another one. I believe this was another one that.
Now again, this cover, I've said this before. This one makes me think of Batman. With the moon and the eerie tree
and the crypts, kind of.
Yeah,
like
it definitely has a Batman aura about
it. I totally agree with you on that. Back to Kirby again. So here, Steranko moved on to Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., so Kirby's back. 114.
And there's some big heads on that cover.
And what do we see there? Lots of Kirby jaws.
Yes.
Look at that with the dimple. Right.
The shield in the background is perfect.
Yep.
It's like the dual personality between Steve Rogers and Captain America.
That's right. Which he struggled with it quite a bit. Quite a good point. Red Skull back again. And, of course, that's Cap's love interest, Agent 13 was her?
I don't remember.
So here, Gene Colan jumps into the fray. We love Gene Colan from Namor and Iron Man and Howard the Duck, Tomb of Dracula, Doctor Strange.
And some Daredevil, too.
And Daredevil as well, yeah. It's amazing to think how many books Gene Colan had his mitts on and did a great job on. So he jumped into Cap. So I don't have issue number 117, which was the debut of the Falcon. I'm going to get it. But here's the second issue ever with the Falcon.
And the green suit.
The green suits. Right.
Which I don't like as much as the red.
No, I don't like the green suit at all, to be honest with you. I don't think it works at all.
Sometimes they switch the suits and they're not as good. But like for me, I was never a fan of Spider-Man switching to the black suit. But everyone seems to like it. It's sleek and slender. But I like the old red, white, and blue Spider-Man.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
What else you got over here?
Coming to the Man Brutes.
Again with the yellow background.
It works well on that one. All right, you're going to love this one.
Let's see what you got.
The Scorpion.
Oh!
Spider-Man villain.
Oh, great block, Captain, with the shield. Sting of death from the Scorpion.
That's right.
What happened if he hit you with that? Would he kill you or just
I
really
think just knock you
you'd be
out.
in pain?
Yeah, you're in pain. Yep. You got his Shield buddies there. Okay, because Cap around this time was working with the Shield folks quite closely.
Look at this.
Look at this one, right?
What do you got there? What number is that?
This is number 124.
Ooh, moving right along.
Yep.
You can see that I have no Captain Americas.
But he's got a lot like post what, like 150, 200. You got
I got a lot between 150 and 227, 230, somewhere around here.
Falcon's back, so right around this time you're going to start seeing the Falcon quite a bit coming up soon. In fact,
I just love the yellow, the UC yellow.
Yeah, so here too, very subtle, right?
It's on the bottom,
but it works. A little bit over
here. Did they change the Captain America? See? Oh no, they're the same. Okay, well, we're going to bring that up.
Oh yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up very soon, actually.
They changed it a few times. The wording of Captain America on the books. See, it's got red, white, and blue in the names.
Yep. Oh, here's Bucky once again.
Bucky. Who's that villain?
That is the Hood.
The Hood. Never heard of him, but that's because of all. Ah,
I love this cover.
That is definitely cool. Gorilla Monster.
I don't forget. It's kind of like a Yeti. There's Falcon at the bottom.
But look at that Kirby jaw.
So notice this is the first issue where it's now Captain America and the Falcon.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And the wording changed a little bit. Oh, no, still got the red, white, and blue while the words are bigger here.
Yeah.
That's why.
But that wording that Bill's been talking about is changed forever now with number 136. So not only is it Captain America and the Falcon officially, but also you got the new Captain America logo up top. Less with the red, white, and blue stuff.
I have 137. This is the oldest in my Captain America collection. I've had this for quite a while.
Spider-Man.
Again, because of Spider-Man is why I grabbed it. And again, there's the old green suit of the Falcon.
Yep. Which is going away soon. In fact, you're going to need this one because this is part 2 of that story. There's Spidey battling them both up in the
138.
138. Yep.
Let's twist that around.
Good stuff.
Oh, look at that.
He's got Falcon in his web.
Cool.
And then number 140. This is a good one against the Gargoyle. He's like an old foe of Thor.
Yes.
Right.
Gargoyle.
Yep. Pretty cool. 141. More Gargoyle mania.
More yellow.
That's right. Good stuff.
Now, pay attention. That's what, 141?
That's 140. 141. Yep.
Do you have 142?
I do not.
Okay.
You next.
Hold it up. Again.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, the last one you just did. Again, we're talking about the changing the name of Captain America and the Falcon. You notice a subtle difference here?
Yeah.
How they've changed it?
I don't like that one, to be honest.
This is 143. I just picked this up at a flea market.
So they were doing this on a regular basis then, right?
Swapping it around. Now, that's one. Now, I'm going to take over for just a couple of issues here. But they stick with this. Because this is 145 here in my hand.
Yep. Now, you'll notice, in fact, we missed 140, but you'll notice that here's the costume change that Bill was talking about before. So here we got
introduced.
So here we got the Falcon with his new costume. Much better. Much better.
Then they show it on this cover, but he's not.
He's not on the
cover.
Yeah, exactly.
And let me go back a second. Because here he's got the green, 143. He's still in green.
You be the judge. What do you guys think? I mean, I personally think the white and red looks great.
I like the white,
Yeah.
the white and red better. It just looks better. 148. Oh, sorry, this is 146. More yellow. Now, you'll see between.
They're messing with that logo.
They're
constantly.
changing it around. The title of the name. So
every issue has been different.
A little creativity flair, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the last I have is 148.
That's a great cover. This one, yeah, 148's awesome.
And it's the red skull.
Yeah.
And more yellow. And that pretty much wraps up our Captain America edition.
For now.
Yes, we will do a part 2. This is part 1, but we will do a part 2 at some point.
Yep. We'll go issue 150 to 200.
That wraps up our Captain America edition. Thank you, as always, for watching, and send us your comments and subscribe and tell your friends. And if you love comic books, you got to watch Comic Book Users. I'm Wild Bill saying thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Be good.